Well, you know, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
Here's the thing, when you don't have anything valuable to add, you just keep talking aimlessly. It's an endless stream of words with no real substance. The majority of voters don't support the controversial women on The View. They're completely out of touch with mainstream America, and honestly, they should consider getting their insights from IM Media. For years, Whoopi Goldberg has dominated The View, acting like a queen on her throne, shutting down guests, steamrolling opposing opinions, and presenting her takes as undeniable facts. But in a stunning turn of events, her iron grip on daytime television suddenly slipped, all thanks to Karoline Leavitt. No one saw it coming. The episode started off as usual, smug laughter, exaggerated eye rolls, and a panel of nodding heads, all perfectly synchronized with the show's left-leaning agenda.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whoopi, brimming with confidence as always, leaned back, fully prepared to steer yet another conversation. Then, the topic of wokeness surfaced, a term that The View practically idolizes, a belief they defend as if it's the very core of their existence. And honestly, it kind of is. Feeling untouchable, Whoopi made the first move, her signature smirk appearing. She turned to Karoline and boldly declared, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." And just like that, boom, the atmosphere in the room shifted in an instant. The audience grew tense. Even Joy Behar, who has made a career out of ridiculing conservatives, suddenly looked uneasy in her seat.
Chair. Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
What Whoopi said next was exactly what you'd expect, predictable and frustrating. After all these years as a host, you'd think she'd come up with something fresh, but nope, here we go again. Let's see what she has in store this time. Following the segment, Karoline Leavitt claimed that her on-air dismissal was proof that you-know-who wouldn't be given fair treatment in the upcoming debate. Do you think this will make people question whether CNN can remain impartial? Or is this just more of the usual, everyone's against me, it's all rigged narrative? Is everything rigged? No, this is just their usual playbook. Rachel Maddow even said last week, if they lose an election, it was rigged. If there's a debate, the moderators must be biased and out to get them. The room was thick with tension, everyone braced for what would come next, and let's just say, Whoopi was not ready for the response she was about to get. This wasn't just a disagreement or a heated debate. This was Whoopi Goldberg taking a direct swipe at Karoline Leavitt's entire career, her intelligence, her work ethic, reducing all her achievements to nothing more than the result of the very ideology she opposes. It was dismissive, belittling, and meant to tear her down. Yet, despite the clear insult, the audience clapped on autopilot. Some even chuckled, but there was a noticeable shift in the air, an uneasy silence that suggested they knew Whoopi had pushed too far, but weren't sure if they should acknowledge it. But Karoline? She didn't flinch. She didn't look rattled. She didn't scramble for a defense or try to fire back with a quick-witted retort. No, she did something far more powerful. She smiled, a slow, knowing smile. A smile that said, oh, you just made a huge mistake. It wasn't smug or arrogant. It was the look of someone who knew she had the facts, the data, and the composure to turn the whole conversation upside down. And with a level of calm that was almost chilling, she did exactly that. The audience had never seen anything like it before. Karoline came back with hard facts, cold, indisputable numbers that couldn't be brushed aside with sarcasm or a dismissive wave of the hand. She broke down government spending reports, exposing exactly how taxpayer dollars were being funneled into absurdly woke programs. Gender studies in Guatemala, Sesame Street spin-offs designed to export American social activism worldwide, and countless other eyebrow-raising initiatives that raised more questions than answers. With surgical precision, she connected the dots, showing how wokeness had evolved from a cultural movement into a political tool, one being used to silence, control, and punish anyone who dared to push back. And Whoopi? She wasn't laughing anymore.
divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
She's incredibly articulate, isn't she? It's honestly baffling that the hosts on The View chose to mock her instead of supporting another woman. It really does reveal a lot about their underlying agenda. Let's see how this plays out. I'm sure Karoline's about to drop some more truth that will be hard for them to ignore.
You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
The woman who had built her career on dominating conversations, shutting down conservative voices, and bulldozing through uncomfortable topics was suddenly on the defensive. Whoopi shifted in her seat, the usual smirk gone, her hands moving as if trying to find something to hold on to. She was accustomed to guests fumbling their words, struggling to keep up with her quick-fire comebacks. But this time, the tables were turned. No matter how much she might have wanted to clap back and steer the conversation back in her favor, she couldn't. Karoline wasn't giving her the chance. In that moment, for the first time in ages, it was clear to everyone watching, Whoopi Goldberg had backed herself into a corner and there was no easy way out. She opened her mouth, then shut it, opened it again, still nothing. The words just wouldn't come. The audience, usually so quick to cheer her on, sat frozen in an uncomfortable silence. Even the most loyal fans of The View didn't know how to react. The energy in the room had shifted, and for once, no one knew whether they should laugh, clap, or just wait for Whoopi to say something, anything, to regain control. Even the camera crew hesitated. Should they zoom in on Whoopi's stunned expression, capturing the moment she realized she had trapped herself, or cut to commercial and hope the viewers wouldn't notice? Whoopi, who was usually so quick with a snide remark or a dismissive gesture, sat stiffly in her chair, clearly wishing she could disappear into it. She had walked straight into a trap, and there was no easy way out. And here's the real question that Karoline had exposed. If wokeness is truly about diversity and inclusion, then why are conservative women the ones being attacked? Why do those who preach tolerance turn vicious when faced with someone who doesn't conform to their ideology? In that moment, Whoopi Goldberg realized she had no comeback, no sharp retort, no witty remark to turn the situation around. The silence dragged on, and everyone felt it. Desperate to recover, Joy Behar jumped in, trying to force out a nervous joke in a last-ditch attempt to break the tension.
Well, you know, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Right.
That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
It's tough to watch, isn't it? The way she argues feels so immature and dismissive, especially when she's confronted with facts she can't easily refute. It really makes you question how someone like her still holds such influence and a sizable audience. It's frustrating to see someone with so little depth continue to dominate the conversation. Maybe it's just because she's been in daytime TV for so long, but by now, you'd expect her to be replaced by someone who actually fosters meaningful discussions.
They talk at you, not to you, and that's what she was doing, and she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the trail.
And there you have it. Whoopi Goldberg, once the untouchable queen of daytime television, found herself in a rare moment of defeat, stunned, speechless, and completely outmaneuvered. But this wasn't just about one viral moment. This was a reflection of a much bigger issue. The growing divide between those who push narratives without question and those who dare to challenge them with facts. Karoline Leavitt didn't just hold her ground. She exposed the hypocrisy, the double standards, and the scripted bias that have fueled The View for years. And in doing so, show, she proved that standing firm in the face of hostility isn't just powerful, it's necessary. So what do you think? Did Whoopi finally meet her match? Or was this just another example of the mainstream media silencing voices they don't want you to hear? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because trust me, we're just getting started.